Grand Rising, I am Empress Sade Bay, and this is the Morris News Network. If you would like to follow us, you can join our group. You can find us on Telegram at the Morris News Network. Invite link provided in the description below. We speak on all the latest news, spiritual news, Mother Gaia news, share knowledge, provide products and services, preparedness info, and all the information that you just can't speak about on any other social media platform due to content and free speech restrictions. So please come join us. Again, that invite link is provided in the description below. Also, if any of the information provided within this video, past videos, or our message at the Morris News Network resonates with you and you would like to support our mission, then please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube and our Rumble channel to get this information out there to the people that really need what we are sharing in these critical times that we are living in today. We are live on a show that we call The Shift with myself and Empress Phoenix Star 777. She is here today. Empress, how are you?
Good, and you?
Oh, I'm doing amazing. And I'm glad we're here. We're going to have a short show today. So we're going to kind of jump straight in. Of course, I got to keep it quick and say, hey, if you want your free nationality documents, you can reach out to me. They're sovereign free documents. Please reach out to me. And if you would like to do the galactic training, we have galactic training that started as well, where you opening up all the psychic potential, so you can get your magic going on right now, the vibe up, level up. You can reach out to me on that as well. And then we're also doing the next karmic cleanse because we just did one for 111, angel numbers 111 is going to be January 17th for the full moon. Okay. So that's going to be that full moon healing energy coming in. So if you want any of those services, you want to have any information that you would like me to provide, you can reach out to me at the Morris News Network at gmail.com. That's the Morris News Network at gmail.com, or on Telegram at the Morris News Network. Okay, so let's jump straight on in. Empress Phoenix Star, please, you have the floor.
Okay, then. We had a request first by a few people, by a group, a survival group that want to know some information about Tennessee. I'm going to pull up the old website version, and then I'm going to turn around and go to the PDF version and see if it's different. They were looking at places like Tennessee. Now, one thing I have to say before I start the Tennessee information, this does not include the actual tsunami if there is one, like if there's some sort of flooding prior to the pole shift. So,
Right. Okay.
so I'm just going to throw that out there, even though they do have Chris from Chris, the one that main person that we get our information from, and from Zeta Talk, they always state to have at least 750 altitude, altitude as far as where you are to be safe as far as that's concerned. Tennessee lies high enough that it will fall into the landmass along the Appalachian Mountains, rising above sea level after the poles have melted. Blessed with tillable soil and hardy people, the state has a better chance than most to survive the pole shift with self-sufficient groups of survivors. This in of itself brings problems, as the lack of sunlight will reduce the harvest dramatically and tensions among the survivors will increase accordingly. When the deer have been hunted to near extinction and the food stock's gone, what then? Where outright starvation is the obvious outcome from the start, survivors tend to mentally adjust to that, and it's all over fairly quickly. But it will seem that surviving the shift has occurred. The mindset is that life should improve thereafter. When this does not occur, and many painful choices are presented, and I hate to think what those could be, during a long drawn out starvation period, periodic confrontations over who should live or die occur. Ooh, that sounds bleak, doesn't it, Empress?
Yes, it does.
That sounds very bleak.
Yes, it does.
Now we have spoken of Mexico, but we're going to review it from this angle here. Country is Mexico. Mexico. There it is. Okay, we're going to go real quick on this. Mexico will in general do well during and after the shift as subducting plates, and that's where they go. Some are over the top of the others. Are more of a problem for the west coast of the U.S. and Canada than Mexico. There will be more broken plates in the general area of Central America to take the shot. A lot of South America is supposed to go away, guys. That's what they're referring to. Where much of Mexico will remain intact after the pole shift, but those portions close to Central America will experience the same destruction from fault line crossing and plate crumbling that Central America and the Caribbean will experience. That's it right there. When large plates are on the move, slamming into each other, small plates are crushed, being the small fry in the fray. Mexico has an additional caution in that Central America will disappear under the waves when the Pacific shortens, the many small plates being the point of least resistance against larger plates surrounding Central America. Okay, Central America. Okay, stay inland, central to Mexico as a country for best results. The inland desert or semi-desert regions of Mexico, which suffer from a lack of water when westerly winds dump their moisture. I hate these long lines. I wish it was shorter. You get so used to the short websites where this one you gotta go all the way across. Which suffer from a lack of water when westerly winds dump their moisture when first coming inland, will find their climate changing. It will flourish in vegetation in the aftertime due to the changed climate, which will remain temperate and fairly close to the equator. With oceans to the new south and north, they will find rains plentiful, and these former deserts will bloom. However, there are several cautions when choosing a safe location within Mexico. Now, this is the kicker here. As with any country, active or inactive volcanoes should be avoided, staying at least 100 miles from either. In other words, stay at least 100 miles from the volcanoes, guys, and also from the coast if you can. I mean, you really need to. However, the volcanic activity that plagues the current southern Mexico will be moved to the far east of the New Mexico, blowing away from rather than across the land. Coastlands should be avoided, stay at least 100 miles inland and at least 200 feet above sea level to avoid tidal waves. See, we're going to have some tidal waves, and that's the concern everywhere. And that's why you should always check your elevation. I said altitude earlier, but you should check your elevation and make sure that you're at least 750 feet high. It said 675. We've been rounding it off to 750. And in places like the Ozarks, they're over 1,000. They're over 1,000 when it comes to elevation. After the pole shift, the venting volcanoes along what is now the edge of the North American plate, where it crosses Mexico, will vent away from Mexico. Volcanic ash via that will be the new prevailing westerlies, will be carried out past what is now Central America, and thence out over the Pacific Ocean. Today, this ash flows to what is now east toward the Yucatan. Those survivors in what is now southern Mexico should migrate to what is not the north of their country into the formerly hostile desert country. Wow. The new geography will have Mexico stretched out along the new equator. Oh, that means we're gonna have some great weather in a very temperate climate, not unlike it enjoys today. The Mississippi Valley will flood within 2 years after the pole shift. Now see, even though this isn't about the Mississippi Valley, at least we're finding out about that, Empress.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's why it pays to look at the different countries because, the different areas, because they always mention something that might be near you, near me, or, Okay, let me read that again and make sure that sinks in. The Mississippi Valley will flood within 2 years after the pole shift, and this will change the weather for the desert regions of Mexico. Fronts will push down from the flooded Mississippi Valley as well as from the Pacific, and both fronts will be water laden. Thus, when these fronts clash and form rain, the desert will bloom. Okay, no, why my nose is getting stopped up. Can you see my cursor, Empress? You can see it move, right?
Yep.
This right here is a volcanic belt that they're talking about. God, like I said, you never know what you learn until you start talking.
You got that right.
This right here is Mexico City's. This one here is actually going off right now.
Mm-hmm.
This one here is over by Puerto Vallarta, and this one
Oh,
just
okay.
I mean, I've been looking at this area so much. We have people that are in the group that actually live in this area down here. They've been having
Mm,
earthquakes down there, but there's all volcano. There's also volcanoes here in Guatemala too. But
mhm.
this belt here is called the volcanic belt for Mexico, and this is what they're referring to as far as you want to stay as north as you can of Mexico City. You're safer if you do. Okay.
Okay.
Your answer is in the rock strata of Mexico, which we encourage you to research. The volcanic belt of Mexico, which is that right there, and its active volcanoes almost precisely follows a particular rock stratum, which has been formed in the past from extruded magma and has outlets to the magma today. Avoid these areas. And like I said, we have people that are living right up in this area. And as you know, South America is going to end up, a lot of that's going to be gone. So
Yeah.
you're better off to be up in the areas up in here. And there's a big strong rock in this area here. You see that there? That's the elevation map. So you're high up in these areas up in here. Just so people.
Mm.
So if you're gonna go to Mexico, don't be on the shores. Try to be in this middle part here and just avoid this area that's down here. This where these volcanoes are. Okay. Okay. So that's showing the belt. Areas in the world. Okay, now this is very important for those of you that want to go to Mexico. Areas of the world where armed conflict is almost a way of life will have a strong sorting out period after the pole shift, during which the gangs with weapons, guns, whatever they have, primarily will kill each other off. See, people are gonna be wanting food. And if you got it, this is how they might get it. So you have to understand the element that's going to happen after the pole shift in these areas. This will be true in Somalia. See, like I said, it's good to read other areas because Somalia is saying this is going to happen there too. For instance, a war-torn countries like Afghanistan or Iraq, and certainly those regions of Mexico where drug lords are defending their territories. Drug gangs operate with the techniques, characteristics of the service to self. The pecking order is established and then maintained with brutality. Control is paramount. The need for control, a characteristic of the service to self. So this is the first issue to be settled when the earth changes, create a shakeup. If the police are distracted because earthquakes or sudden crevices have created havoc, then the drug gangs will try to take advantage of the situation. Any move by a gang normally brings counter moves by a competing gang. So this is followed by gang warfare. Meanwhile, the
Mm.
power. Uh, you know what I don't know? I gotta say this.
Mhm.
You that are planning on going to Mexico, you
Mhm.
ask yourself, find out if you can carry a firearm in that country to protect yourself.
Mm.
It didn't dawn on me till recently that no one's ever mentioned that because I don't know if you can carry a gun in there to protect yourself, being that you're not a citizen there. But that would be
Right,
something
right.
to look into.
Okay.
Meanwhile, the citizens cower, unless you're going to take a bow and arrow or a crossbow. And I don't even know if you can take those in. So you really need to do some research on how you can protect yourself. If you can take something to protect yourself going in, or can you acquire something legally while you inside? From there, you have to make some decisions on that yourself. Meanwhile, the citizens cower. Eventually, as we have so often described, these gangs run out of ammo and cannot get resupplied. They also kill each other off and are so busy fighting amongst themselves that they fail to attend to basic survival needs such as food and water. They do not tend, the priorities, people's priorities don't always be right in a crisis. So I can see that happening anywhere. I can see that happening in the city in the United States. With
Mhm.
this right here, guys, it's not limited to Mexico. This is anywhere. They do not tend to their sick or injured. The local citizens also take their opportunities to rid their locale of these troublemakers, who are likely taking what little food or water the local citizens have. Such a cleanup may take longer in conflict regions, but the outcome is inevitable.
Mm.
So we covered, you know what, I could have gotten it off the PDF, but I think this was a little bit more realistic. And plus we also had maps to look at the territories to avoid. Um, it's not
Okay.
it's not saying that it's not doable, but I really wish that, I mean, I love Zeta Talk, you know, and like we always tell people, this is not gospel. This is all we have to go off of. Empress Sade and I have expressed that since the show has been going on. The only thing we have to go off of is Zeta Talk. And so far, when you look at how, for example, if you look how Mexico is laid out, it's clearly showing a place not to be at, which is a good thing they're pointing that out, because some people may not realize how dangerous it is, especially people that live there. They're used to living near volcanoes. They would not think that they would be a threat one day. And right about now, that's knocking on our door right now, that it's becoming a threat, you know, not to live near those areas. Um,
Right.
you know, and as far as the tidal waves and all, living in the top portion, the mid section here of Mexico is very ideal. Now you'll have to discern as far as I won't disclose where they mentioned, but there's certain areas that in this particular safe area in Mexico that are like a valley. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be careful. And hopefully, no water ever gets up there in those areas. Also, you have to look at the fact that you would want to be as high up as you can, I would think, so that way, if people were to invade on a town, they more than likely are going to go toward the flat part, you know,
Mm.
town. Um, I, you know, it is so surreal to realize that we're going to be in a survival mode. Um, you know, to the extreme that this may happen. Uh, but it's real. It's real. And I know a lot of people listening to us are Moors and a lot of people aren't. But I will say this, a lot of people know what center point is. And Empress and I were just talking about that earlier. We do not fearmonger on this show. We provide information. It's up to you to figure out where you're standing at, you know, and all we could do is recommend spiritually for you to stand in your center point. And if you don't know what that means, stay neutral and
Mm-hmm.
keep your thoughts together and make sound decisions the best you can from your center point. Empress, you like to add to that?
I mean, you pretty much said it best, but like we always say, it's about awareness and, be aware and prepare. And again, just keep everything right there. You don't have to worry about fearing anything because the preparedness kind of helps you with that. Like, I mean, even you look at someone that even on their worst times of life, if somebody was on even their deathbed, something as tragic as that may seem, a lot of times with that, those people have to prepare themselves spiritually and mentally for that. And they may be at peace, they may
Exactly.
even be at peace on their deathbed. See that, and this is where I want to get you guys to think of just being at peace no matter what's going on around you. It does not matter, but being aware of things and being able to prepare by gaining information, gaining knowledge actually helps you to stay at peace. It
Ex-
actually helps you to stay at peace. A lot of times people fear the unknown. We talked about this before. People fear the unknown. So you try to make things familiar so it won't be unknown anymore. And then try to come with solutions. And that's what we're doing today. We're coming
ex-
up with solutions for you, to get, to whatever possible problems, right?
ex-
Possible, because we don't know exactly, but we do have an inkling of a thought that, these things may take place. So you want to prepare.
exactly. And you know, sometimes you got to look at, you know, sometimes they say life is a game. Let's just look at this as a basketball game, you know, or some of you may have played softball, some of you may have played badminton, tennis. Look at it as you getting ready to, you know, you got that opportunity where you're about to take your shot. Are you gonna go out? You're gonna go from out of court, inner court? You know that these different areas exist. Where's the best place for you to take your shot from? You follow what I'm saying? We have to look at these things as something other than it is sometimes in order to deal with it. In other words, I'm starting to really look at this as a challenge. You know what I mean? It's a challenge. It's a challenge, and challenges are not always bad, because you actually get through this challenge, you're going to feel unstoppable. Just remember that this is a challenge. Life is a challenge. Walking outside your door can be a challenge, depending on where you live at. You know, riding on a bus could be a challenge, especially nowadays. Lord knows, flying in a plane sure the hell is a damn challenge for the behavior I've seen on planes lately. So you take challenges every day. You know, you just may not realize it as it is. But I just want to let them know a little bit about Arizona. Like we said, we're going through this really fast, and I'm going to show a few ideas for you guys. This at the top of the screen. As this is Arizona, I'm just going to say Arizona in its whole totality. We'll get into some of the towns, some more of the towns of Arizona later. But as Old Rock, not much will happen, even the Grand Canyon remaining unaffected in spite of temporary deluges in the area. You know what? Maybe we all should just go to the Grand Canyon. That's Egypt anyway, right, Empress? Are you there, baby?
Yeah, you no, I accidentally clicked, but yeah, you got that right.
Are you chatting over there, Empress?
Oh no, but sometimes I'll be chewing.
I know, bless your heart. During the hour of the shift and hours following, the Colorado River will drain the immense amount of water that will dump on the Rockies during the clash of water-soaked air that will push inland into the Mississippi Valley during the sloshing of the Gulf. And similar water-soaked air will be pushed inland into the Sierras during the compression of the Pacific. Existing drainage routes will serve as the route for this water to rush back to the sea. Okay, so that water is going to come in and it's going back out to the sea. The Hoover Dam, now this is something to be concerned about, will not survive the Richter 9 quakes. Good God Almighty. Did you hear that, Empress?
Yes, that's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
9, you said 9.9?
Yeah, nine, just a nine.
Just
Just a,
9.
yeah, 9 point. I mean, even if it was higher than that, my Lord. I mean, I don't even know how to, an 8, oh, a 7? Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, once it's 9, it's like, good Lord. I don't know. I just can't imagine it. In particular, will not survive the heaving and jolting that will go on as the Pacific plates subduct under the West Coast. I swear it seems like the world is getting smaller. These plates are going under each other. It's like the world is contracting.
Mm.
You know, when you think about that for a second. These plates, one is on top of one, the other is under it, and the one under it is scooting more and more under the top one. It's like the world is getting smaller.
Mm-hmm.
It really does feel, it sounds that way to me. But you know, people say fear mongering, they don't want to tell us the truth because they look at it as fear mongering that would tell us the truth. So, I mean, but if you really think about that, it's like it's getting smaller. I need to talk. If anybody that's really, really into, what would it be? Geography?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If they are really into that, please leave a message and remarks or something where I can get in contact with you, because I would like to dig further into this also to understand, and I will do my diligent research on this because it really sounds like things are getting smaller when this is happening. Okay, I'll get back on Richter 9 quakes. In particular, will not survive the heaving, jolting. I'm gonna read that part again. Jolting that will go on as the Pacific plates subduct under the West Coast. See what I'm saying? It's going under,
Mm-hmm.
which subduction does not affect any of the immediate area, but causes adjustments in the neighboring rock strata. So the rock strata is going to make some adjustments, sometimes hours afterwards in aftershocks. Now that's something to remember. You're going to have earthquakes, but there's going to be aftershocks after it. So in this particular area, not everywhere, but in this particular area, yes. We have stated that it should be an S, rivers will flood beyond their known flood levels. So do not relocate near a river. I'll repeat it again. Don't do it. And that riverbank should be avoided. And the Colorado River is no exception. Arizona will be a crowded area going into the shift due to the mystique that many ascribe to this place, particularly Sedona. Sedona. Oh God, that's a beautiful place. And thus the poor land and minimal water will be taxed during the aftertime. Where Arizona rises into the mountains, the highlands offer a better potential for life in the aftertime. Wow. God, but can you imagine being on a mountain and going through a 9 Richter scale?
Yeah,
So that,
that's insane.
that's a summary of it, guys. I mean, we can get into I think the only places they have listed as far as cities, I know they have Phoenix here. These are just different cities of different places, different countries. Do you have anything you want me to press on before I do the products real quick and we get out? Here's Tucson. I see two so far. I see Tucson and I see Phoenix. I don't think I see anything else on
Well, no, if you want to do a quick summary of something other than that, we'll move forward. And guys, if there's any place that you want us to do, please reach out now more than ever, because um, a lot of these different events are taking place now, and you're going to see them more and more and more, and they're going to be coming quicker and stronger. And so you will want to get to wherever you're going to get to, just in case you get, stuck in that particular place for a while. So wherever you want to go, this is the time. This is the time. You've been saying this for a while, Phoenix. I remember us speaking in the very beginning. We were like, get to wherever you got to get to by like February, March, somewhere around there. Um, so, this is the time to do that. So, reach out, and then, we'll talk about your area.
And even if I relocate, I'll still find a way to help out with the show. I'm just gonna say that.
Mm-hmm.
Even I'm realizing, just like the Empress just said, I mean, I have been saying this for how long have we been doing this now? About 2 or 3 months?
Mm-hmm.
I've been saying this for about 2 or 3 months, and I didn't feel that I was extremely ready when I started. I don't think I'm ever going to be actually ready. I'm going to share this with you guys because I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys feel the same way. Right now, if I was to start packing up things and getting out of here, I wouldn't feel ready. I wouldn't feel like I have everything. Even though I may have all I need, I still wouldn't feel like I have everything. So I just want you to know that that's going to be the feeling that most people are going to feel, is that, do I have this? Do I have this? Oh God, did I get? You are not going to be able to carry everything with you. I don't care if you have a camper. You're not going to be in a truck. You're not going to be able to carry everything with you. You're going to always feel like you don't have something. But the thing is that you may have everything you need to survive. You got some food, you got some dried greens, you got some lentils, you got some survival food, you got survival water pouches. There are pouches that you can have too. Have yourself what do you call it? I can't even think of the name of it, but I have one. Your bag. Make sure you have a backpack packed with things that you need, whether it's just a little bars of survival food and some pouches of water and other necessities, lights, rope, first aid kit, maybe even a light that you can actually crank up, a radio you can crank up, light flashlights, batteries. All these little things that a little pouch, a tent. I mean, there's so much stuff that you can have. Some of us are going to be walking, and all we have is our backpack. But make sure you have the things you need to cut things, to chop things, to start a fire, all those different things, to saw, even if it's one of those hand saws that look like a metal string, all these different little things, gadgets and stuff that we've been showing on the different shows. I hope people have been paying attention, making notes on them, or either go back and look at some of them, because we do give a lot of good recommendations. Another thing, Ron has a great channel. It's called Emergency Management Services. That is a very good one to do. He's more of the intellectual on these type of things, because he's worked with emergency services. Me, I'm an amateur, but I am in love with the earth. I feel the earth is one of the most important things we have. And so I'm passionate about what I'm doing and learning every day. And I learn from people like Ron. I learn from people like Mike Morales, who always talks about weather. I mean, you have some really great channels here. I hope you guys are writing these names down. Mike Morales and Emergency Services Management. Those are the two that I really, really like and respect. This right here, what you see now, are the volcanoes that are in California, Portland, and Oregon. And Ron has clearly pointed out that the major volcanoes in this area right now are smoking. Mount St. Helens is actually smoking right now. Mount Hood is smoking right now. You have all these different volcanoes that are starting to smoke. You have all these different earthquakes that are happening around these volcanoes. We don't know if that's magma moving or not, but some of these have been substantial, like 4.8. Okay, and you can actually see all the responses there. You had a whole bunch of earthquakes that were happening in this area that has quieted down some, but this was all red at one time. You have all of these happening here in Baja California that are going crazy. Also near Long Beach area, you had one a couple of days ago that was 2.8. You also have all of these that are, I mean, look at this, even in San Diego area, Mexicali area. I mean, you got all these earthquakes that are going on. You even have some going on over here. So I'm just going to talk about the states right now in Mexico because we have people there. This same spot keeps getting hit over and over and over again. But look, it's on one of those lines that we're always talking about. This line turns into the San Andreas Fault as it goes up. So, and then once something happens on this line, it's like electricity. These lines are like wires, that energy travels. So now you can see that even along that line, you even see more more earthquakes that are going along that line in a sense. And these are volcanoes. And now we have 3 of them alive and the 4th one trying to come alive in this area. You have one here that's trying to come alive. So warning. Then you have this one here, it's unrest. Sorry, that's a volcano, but oh, I hate it when it does that. But if I was to click that, it will say unrest because it's yellow. Then you have down here, look at all of this. Y'all, the earth is going through some serious changes, okay? And it's right along these lines and these volcanoes. And you go out in the water, you see the same trend. And if I was to, this is not to scare you. If we look at the Ring of Fire right now, it is the Ring of Fire. That is the Ring of Fire. The Ring of Fire is where all the volcanoes are. The only volcanoes that's not alive right now are the ones that are right here, where we are, the Oregon, the Northern California, the Washington, and the Canadian area. Once those start, I don't know what to say because then you're talking about Mount St. Helens and all the rest of them. But look, take a look at the world, guys. This is in the last 7 days. All these have been going on. At first, I used to do daily, and then I almost fell out my chair when I clicked the button to say show in the last 7 days. So now I'm just showing you in the last 7 days. So take it for what it's worth. Start getting serious. We have a lot of things going on in the world that this orchestrated fear. But this is not orchestrated. This is natural fear. So this one might want to take precedence right now, hopefully. Just to give you some quick ideas. Start, I know money is tight for a lot of us, but if you go somewhere where you can find it cheaper. Here's one for $7.50. But get yourself some thermal underwear. This is wintertime. We don't know if they're going to turn the lights off and electricity off. At least make sure you stay warm. Another thing I would recommend, and I'm gonna put these links. I did a search on thermal underwear. I'll put the links. We'll get the links in for you. This right here seems like a really good gadget to have. It's an emergency radio. It also gives you weather alert, AM, FM, crank, and solar powered. Okay, phone charger, flashlight. I don't know if we're gonna have a phone, but at least you'll have all the other things that you need. $45 for that. Okay. Also, get you some crew socks, crew cotton socks. Don't get that nylon stuff. Get something that's going to keep you warm. Get something that's more natural. So get yourself some crew socks, not no cute little foo-foo socks. That's not going to get it. This is survival, no time to be cute. This is a time to stay warm and think very practical. So you have some sets here. Some of these come 6 or 12 in a pack, pairs, that is, so you can, some of these aren't expensive. Might also want to look at the dollar store and Kmart or Target, Target, or what's the other place? I can't think of them right now. Also, it might be kind of hard to take a bath sometimes. Now, we have shown the shower pouch that you can actually generate water from the sun, but what if we don't have that much sun? At least you can have some Huggies. Get yourself some baby wipes. This is a big old box of them. 768 wipes total. These are unscented. Like if you're out in the wilderness or something like that, I don't know if you want to have scented to smell all pretty. And I'm going to say it like that because there might be animals around. So you might want to get something unscented. I'm just thinking real practical. But so these aren't just for the baby. These can also be for you to clean up and stay clean out in the wilderness. Ziploc bags, like Ron was saying tonight, like him and I both think alike. He said some things tonight that I've said in previous shows. And so tonight I thought about it. I said, I'm going to do something that he said. Get some Ziploc bags, different sizes. Ron brought up something tonight that cracked me up. He said, bugs and rodents can also eat your money. I was like, oh, heck. He said, they'll eat anything. He said, make sure you put things in Ziploc bags and lock them up and keep them high or do what you got to do. And also, he was also mentioning the fact of your socks. And I know this from being in the military, having Arctic survival school, your socks are going to get wet during the day because your feet are going to sweat inside the boots. So what you want to do is air them out and dry them out. But in the meantime, you clean ones so bugs and stuff won't get into them. You might want to keep them in Ziploc bags. So keeping
Right.
Ziploc bags is not a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
And your underwear, all your stuff, I'll give you some ideas if you guys have campers and stuff like that, because you can get like plastic tubs and stuff like that where you can actually keep those things in. But you do want to get some Ziploc bags. That's something that I'm keeping open and I know I'm going to need. Get yourself plenty of batteries. I did find some sales here on Amazon. You can go to the dollar store, which is really cool. But looking at this, a pack of 20, $8.71. I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
So you can actually stock up on some batteries. Do your due diligence. If you want to have it where
Mm-hmm.
one thing too on that for you guys that are vapors. I noticed something in that crank radio that they use a rechargeable battery that looks very equivalent to a vapor battery. So I just want to let y'all
Mm-hmm.
know. But we won't be able to do that soon because first of all, where are you gonna get your juice, unless you're gonna start and you can grow nicotine because it comes from a flower. You actually can actually grow nicotine if you wanted to.
Mm.
Now, for those of you that wear glasses like me, I tell you what, I looked at went through all these little lens cleaners, and I would tell you this is one of the cheapest ones I saw, and you get a pack of 12, and they're great. I love them. They work just great. And they're individually wrapped into plastic, which is great. They're not like all scrunched together. So this right here it says you save $4 on it. It's only $4.99 for 12 pack of, and you can also use this for other things like your cameras or anything that pertains to glass. You can clean that with it too. So that's pretty good. That is a good price there. Now let's talk about not having enough light and all these different things, challenges we may have. Or say you have a camper and you have some windows, in it, and you have the little table that's by the window, or you have the counter that's by the sink that's by the window. Why don't you just start getting you some microgreen kits? That way you can start growing some stuff inside the camper. You might, if you have solar, you might be able to set up a nice little garden bed inside of your camper because you don't want this graphene all in your food. So I'm just saying, I'm just thinking totally out of the box right about now. Even children like these things because that's how this started. This is broccoli, rainbow mix, and mighty mix. So you can actually eat sprouts, if you have to, if to
Mm-hmm.
grow. Now, this is one that I had never seen this before, and I'm definitely going to get this. You can organically grow cherry tomatoes all year round on the windowsill. And they also have chili peppers, tomatoes, chili peppers. So you can actually grow those all year round in the windowsill. So I'm thinking of windowsill foods. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you have microgreens, but the main thing I did was, oh, you can even have a watermelon and bean kit.
Mm.
And they say it's for the kids, but heck, I'm an adult. I'm gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
Heck,
Okay.
in the springtime, I'm gonna get me some watermelon on. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got mushrooms. Now we brought this one up before, but this is the whole company here. Now I already have this. I'm not going to grow them or anything. I'm going to use that for survival purposes. I'll be able to just spray bottle this. All you do is just spray it with a spray bottle, and that's all you do to keep this growing. And this grows a whole bunch of mushrooms. This right here could be your meat. Just so you
Mm-hmm.
say you're growing some tomatoes, and say you're growing some chili peppers, you got yourself a meal there. And say you got some beans, you got yourself a meal there. And then you
Mm-hmm.
also have to have it with, look at this, they have a fish tank. So you don't have to
Right.
just put,
Aquaponics.
yeah, aquaponics. Forget the fish, but the fish does help fertilize that.
They fertilize it. That's right.
Yep. But I'm just saying, do what you gotta do, but you can do this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Had you ever seen this before? I hadn't seen this before. I those mason jars, you can actually make those as planters.
No, I haven't seen anyone do the mason jars like that, but I've done a lot of windowsill planting before, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know exactly. Well,
Mm-hmm.
now you know what? I do have some lavender seeds, but they have it already here. I would love to grow some lavender. That is so good for you. I mean, it helps.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the sunflower planter. Um, you can have some herbs here where you can do your basil, your cilantro, and your mint. And yeah, okay. And then they have a little video here. But this is just showing you that you can also plant things, like this. You can turn your whole inside of your camper. Let's say you have a camper, you can make your whole camper a little garden. And if you have solar generator, you can definitely go hook up your lights for about 4 hours out of the day. You won't take too much energy. You know how they normally have a bunk bed in a camper? Why don't you adhere your plant lights to the bottom of the top bunk, make your bottom bunk into a planter. So then you
Right.
have lights right over your food and you could be growing right in your camper. So, I mean, these are just throwing ideas. I've been brainstorming, what can someone do in a camper? Well, first of all, most campers have a removable table by the window and it has two booth seats. Why don't you take the table out, put a tarp down, rig it up to where you can have a planter there, maybe get those elastic straps, I forgot what they call them, with the hooks, strap it down so when you drive it doesn't bulge or move or scoot around. But you could have a planter. You could turn your whole camper in the inside into like a little garden. You really could. So these are just ideas we're just throwing out to you guys. And we'll also give you the list of items. We posted this before. The 100 items to disappear after the pole shift. And then there's another link down here. There was another link down here. Oh, here it is here. 200 items you can barter after the collapse. So we'll put this website into the links. Empress Sade has a lot going on, and I don't want to hold her time up anymore. And I feel like I diligently gave you some information that you can use this evening. And would you like to add anything now?
You did a wonderful job. You definitely did. And I'm glad you brought back the 100 things with the other links. And I'm definitely going to give that underneath the description. I know it's been a couple times I forgot to do it. So I'm definitely going to do that for you guys, because you guys will reach out to me and say, hey, where's those links? So I'll make sure that
So that way I'll give you both of these links because it has two different pages. So I'll make sure you have that.
Okay, good. Yeah, because they don't mind asking. They will tell me that. And I'm like, oh, and then I end up just sending it individually. But I'm gonna make sure I put it underneath there for you guys. But yeah, no, that's it. We just want to do a short quick one today to let you guys know, number one, the seriousness of the information today, because you guys do need to prepare. Empress Phoenix Star has been doing a lot of different things right now. She's helping other people with other groups that are really serious right now, that are trying to really get themselves together. So she's not posting as much as she used to. She still is in the Morris News Network posting, but not as much as she used to. So when you see things from her in the Morris News Network chat, these are serious things that you need to take a look at right away. She's not posting any fluff. So I know there's a lot of information that comes in there and is flying through. It's just so much information, but you may want to save that information and put it into your saved messages. And then you can always look at it later. And anything else that you see that's in there that you want to take a look at, since there's so much information coming in and it's beautiful information. I love you guys for doing it. But a lot of times it just goes so fast that people don't get a chance to really look at it all. You're going to have to prioritize the information. The things that she's putting in there is priority, because she may be talking about something that potentially could be going on in your area and you won't even know about it. And nothing else matters. Okay, at that point, if you don't, anything else that you're thinking about would not matter. I don't care if it's their job or money and a school, or even on the spiritual side, unless you are really advanced where you can actually do more things with it. So you guys have to keep yourselves safe and prepare yourself while you're still trying to advance on the spiritual side as well, because everyone is opening up their third eyes and trying to do so much on that level. So you got to take care of both and be that center point. Do the spiritual, but also make sure you take care of yourself physically, and stay centered and keep that balance going. Okay, don't be so one-sided on the physical, so one-sided on the spiritual that you're not looking at both. Stay centered. That's what I'd had to say.
Exactly. And you know what, Empress, I'm so glad you said that. And I'm glad you said something else too about the groups, that have reached out. Guys, it was from a post that I posted in the room. I'll repeat that again. Somebody was paying enough attention. I posted it in their room and also in our room, and they're also in the Morris News Network room. But it was because of one of the posts. They were like, oh, we got to do something now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when somebody reach out to me and they want to go through some things, I'm just going to recommend, like I did with them, let's get in a Zoom together. You don't have to show your face, because I'm not showing mine, because I have, matter of fact, I can't, because I got too much stuff I'm trying to show you anyway. So if one of the survival groups, like I said, I'm not an expert, I'm an amateur, but I'm pounding the pavement right now on this computer. Oh, I say pounding the keys on this computer, doing research on stuff. And I'm noticing I could talk about something, and one of the experts, then I'll see them talking about it, or they'll talk about it, and then I'll research it even further, because I want to understand how the earth works. And I want to understand what is, the way this earth is designed, what is a safe place to be? Honestly, some will say there's no safe place, but there's some that have more advantages than others. And those are the places that I'm looking for. Go ahead, Empress. That's all I have
Okay.
to say. And I just want to say thank you so much for having me. I can finally put my heart and soul into something that I really, really enjoy. And like we were discussing before the show, you said that I've grown. I have to say that you've allowed me to grow through this channel, to be able to share something that really, really fascinates me. And when we started, I had no idea that this fascinated me as much as it does. But I'm really glad that you gave me the opportunity to be a part of Morris News Network, help me with my appellation and everything else that you've helped me with.
It's just amazing to me too, because guys, the things that you're doing uh can potentially help save somebody's life. Like, this is some life-saving stuff. I think it's important. I mean, I think it's really important. So something that may have started off as a curiosity is actually turning into something, and we may say amateur because the fact you might not be as known or have the experience, but the comprehension is there. And
Yeah.
I see that you're comprehending these things. And some of the stuff, I mean, you guys should be able to see, just even looking at some of the maps. It shouldn't take a rocket scientist to see the stuff that
Exactly.
she's showing, because it's right in your face. They're showing you where the volcanoes are. They're showing you what's active or what's currently active or starting to get active or dormant. And they're showing you about the earthquakes, and you see where the fault lines are. Like, she's literally showing them in your face. So, you don't have to be a genius to at least look at the stuff and see that the stuff
Right.
is there. You know what I mean? And you're seeing some activity going on. We just don't want you guys. There's some half woke people around here that's like a little up, and they kind of see what's going on, but they're not doing anything about it. We want you guys to start taking action. We've been talking
Yeah.
about that a lot lately, and it's time for you guys to take action. So we just want to do this short video, so to get you guys up to what's going on. And we're going to definitely come back next week unless we have anything else that's an emergency that needs to, be spoken about right away. Then we'll do that as well. And again, thank you so much, Empress Phoenix Star, from coming on and sharing with us as you always do, your knowledge and taking the time out your day. And guys, when you see her in the Morris News Network, please say thank you, say hello to her, reach out to her, just send her a DM, because she is putting in a lot of work for you guys. This is to help you out because she's already doing stuff to try to on herself. So this is
Yeah.
extra. She don't have to do, she's not getting paid to be
Nope.
looking out for you guys. This is nothing but love and passion, and I see it in her. And
Thank
and and I'm just so happy to have her to be part of the team. So, the divine creator knew what they were doing, and they put us
you.
together. And we're teamwork make the dream work, and that's what we're doing. So
Teach one.
absolutely. That's right. You're absolutely right. So again, thanks again, Empress Phoenix Star, and thank you guys for tuning in, because I know you guys love the show and always want to hear. That's why we had to do something today, even though me and her are both extremely busy.
Yes.
We made sure we put something together for you guys today, because it's always some new information that's coming up, and it's it's always solid information. This is not fluff. This is some like real solid information to
No
give you all.
fluff.
Yeah, like we could literally do this daily, but we chose to do it weekly. So again, but thank you guys for tuning in, and we hope you guys tune in often. Okay, so I am Empress Sade El Bay with the Morse News Network with Empress Phoenix Star 777. And I just want to say to you guys, I wish you nothing but healing, love, and light. I'm sending all those frequencies your way. Peace and love, everybody.
Love, guys.
Peace and love. Yes.